Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. So, this morning in my recommended, Gabbie Hanna, time to talk about my bad poetry. I'm very aware that this came out came out a few weeks ago, but I didn't see it then because I'm not subscribed to Gabbie Hanna. This came up in my recommended this morning, Intervention by Yahweh themselves, no doubt. So I went onto the video, watched the first 10 seconds of it, and then I scrolled down to the comments, as you do, as we all do. From the tone of the comments, I thought this would be a pretty good video to commentate on. So without further ado, here we go. I've not seen the whole video, but let's get into this.
My sophomore collection of poetry is available for pre-order.
Can't wait.
Just finished it. I am so proud of the entire book, but especially my illustrations. My drawing has gotten so much better and I've grown so much from literally the first time I picked up an iPad for adolescence until now, and
this is really unfair of me to say because this is her video and it's her promoting, you know, her work that's coming out, but Gabbie Hanna really loves herself. Now, I can say that because, what can I say that? I'm gonna say it anyway. Because I've seen a few of her vlogs, so I have background knowledge of Gabbie Hanna, and I already know that she loves herself. But when you know something and then you see someone exhibiting these behaviours over and over, it's just kind of, it's comical. You know, it's almost like a person has become a caricature of themselves. I saw this vlog of hers once. I don't know what she was doing. I think she was getting plastic surgeries or whatever. Or, sorry, I thought I heard the door go. It was just ghosts, apparently. So, I saw this video of her, I think she was having plastic surgery or whatever, and it was around about the time she damaged her leg doing some stunt. I don't know. But every person she met that day, she was showing them the video of her hurting her leg because she was going around on crutches. Every single person that she spoke to that day, she showed that video to. Like, and it's like, okay, do that, but we don't need to see that in a vlog 10 to 20 times. Gabbie Hanna loves herself. Anyway, moving on. Wait, by the way, do love yourselves. I love myself. I'm a narcissist, but keep attached to reality. That's the message there? I don't know. Okay, so the first 9 minutes of this video is just promo for her new book that's coming out. Can't wait for that.
I want to start by saying this. I'm a public figure and I put out my art publicly. By doing that, I am fully open to reviews and thus criticism. This is not new. There are people who make videos and articles tearing apart Quentin Tarantino, saying he's a terrible director. He's still one of the most famous and respected filmmakers of all time.
Gabbie, you're not Quentin Tarantino though.
I've seen videos saying that Ariana Grande's voice is in vocal decline. It is not. She's still one of the most recognizable and powerful voices of our generation, hands down. I literally just heard Gordon Ramsay talk on Hot Ones about a food critic that he absolutely hates because he wrote a review saying that Gordon Ramsay's food is terrible. It's Gordon Ramsay. Now, this is obviously not to say that I'm on the same level or of the same caliber as Quentin Tarantino, Ariana Grande, or Gordon Ramsay, but it does go to show that people will have differing opinions. And just because you like something that someone doesn't like, or you don't like something that someone does like, doesn't make it inherently good or bad. That is what art is. It's subjective.
These are all really fair points. If she genuinely believes this and holds herself to that standard, then that is good. Could kind of tell from skimming the comments that this isn't the case. She's just prefacing and saying this to like save a bit of face. But if she genuinely believed that, then that's a good thing because it's true. You could be Keanu Reeves and there's still going to be one sucker out there who doesn't like Keanu Reeves. Frankly, anyone who doesn't like Keanu Reeves is going really, really wrong with their lives. But that's besides the point.
It's a matter of preference, and that's art, baby! This is not to say that I don't love adultolescence, because I do. This book is very, very special to me. It's a very misunderstood book, and I'll get to that, but
it's a misunderstood book, and she'll get to that in a minute. Because it's not that maybe it was just a little bit bad. It's just that you pros just don't get it. You're not smart or deep or woke enough.
If you read it in conjunction with the title being Adultolescence, which is a mashup of the word adult and adolescence, a description that says, in poems ranging from the sing-song rhythms of children's verses to sophisticated confessional style, Gabbie explores what it means to feel like a kid and an adult all at once. So this book was very adult themes written from the lens of a child, or written through the lens of children's poems.
I think she's retroactively decided that's what the book was.
I'm talking about very adult feelings like suicide, depression, anxiety, mental health, eating disorders, assault, and abuse the way a child would.
She lists all those things and then says, but it's meant to be lighthearted though. That would be a difficult line to toe for an accomplished writer, I think.
And then there's a lot of little silly ones that have been taken and passed around, like every day is just a battle between am I too tired to eat or too hungry to sleep? And you can read that at surface level and just let it be a funny, relatable, stupid thing that you chuckle at. But if you give it the benefit of the doubt that there might be something more, you might see it as something that's saying sometimes depression gets so heavy that even the bare minimum of living, which is surviving, becomes a chore.
Shouldn't the work really speak for itself though? Like, should you be telling people what something actually means? I guess when it comes to art, you can't really tell someone how to interpret art or poetry or whatnot because it's subjective. Honestly, one of the top comments said, how are we supposed to read between the lines when we're given 4 lines?
I like to write in a way that can be interpreted in a lot of different ways depending on how you read it or where you put the emphasis, which in my opinion is what all good poems do. One of my favorite poems was by William Williams growing up about the plum in the icebox. So a lot of you might have probably have read this. I've eaten the plums that were in the icebox and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they were delicious, so sweet and so cold. It's very easy to look at this poem and say, I don't care. Why am I reading about a plum in the icebox? And that's the beauty about it, is you're reading it and you're trying to figure out why you're reading a poem about a plum in the icebox, because there is something beautiful about just writing about the mundane and finding the beauty in the small moments. But it could also be about temptation.
This is too deep for me, it's so profound. Don't assume I don't understand your poetry, Gabbie Hanna. I understand all of Neon Genesis Evangelion, so don't even test me.
There's so many ways to read this poem, and on surface level it's about eating plums in the icebox, and that's what I think I did with adultolescence.
Anyone who thought I was harsh in the beginning, being like she loves herself.
I think a really good example in the new book of this, I'll show you a couple. I love this spread. You see an open closet door with the monster's hand holding a flower out. So I want to focus on that first. What is a monster if not just an animal we don't know? But if you think more closely on the word closet and how that might relate to the poem, because oftentimes my titles have the ability to change the meaning of the poem entirely, is a piece about homophobia.
Homophobia is not really your lived experience though, is it, Gabbie?
And people stay in the closet because people treat them like monsters, because people who don't understand what it is to be gay and look at it as an abomination, they look at them as monsters. That is the reason people stay in the closet.
So if your fake woke poem is about homophobia, are you implying that gay people are monsters in cupboards? It's one way of interpreting it, Gabbie. I don't know, Gabbie, I mean, you're straight. So this just screams virtue signalling to me. Like, I don't think you need to write poems about homophobia on behalf of gay people. Just me? Okay.
Now if you look on the page next to it, I love this book so fucking much, guys. I could fucking cry. I already did cry.
This is a whole video of her just sucking her own dick, man. On one hand, I kind of think that's great. I do enjoy watching narcissistic people be narcissistic. It's a little quirk of mine.
I really highly encourage you guys to dig in when you get this book and don't take anything at face value. Dig.
I think if you've had to put out a video telling people how to interpret and read your book, maybe something's gone missing along the way. Do you know what I mean? Seeing as at the beginning of the video she was comparing herself to Quentin Tarantino and Ariana Grande and Gordon Ramsay, and I know she said that she wasn't comparing herself to these people, but she was comparing herself to these people. I don't think I've ever seen Quentin Tarantino or Ariana Grande, or even Gordon Ramsay, say, no, this is how you have to interpret my film, my song, my food.
This book and adultolescence is filled with riddles and puzzles that I want you to solve. I'm inviting you to solve them. But beyond all this, I guess my one thing that I would ask of you guys as readers is please just read it the way it's meant to be read, which is a light, enjoyable, digestible read.
This is what I mean. So it's a light, enjoyable, digestible read, but then yet there's themes of homophobia and trauma and abuse and suicide and depression and all these serious, deeper, non-superficial subjects. So which is it? Do you want to be too deep and profound for me, or do you want it to be light and enjoyable? I think she's included both because it's a way of deflecting criticism. If someone, you know, says, well, these themes of suicide, whatever, she can just turn around and be like, it's meant to be light and enjoyable, you're reading it wrong. Or if someone else, I think a few people said this in their videos on her poetry, were to say, the light playfulness of this poem that's actually about self-harm doesn't really go together, she could turn around and be like, actually, it's really, like, deep and, you know, just so meaningful. Do you know what I mean?
People aren't scrambling very often to read the Iliad or the Odyssey. They're great works, but it's not what people want to sit down and read.
The Iliad and the Odyssey aren't just great works. They've been remembered for thousands of years. I believe before Homer wrote them down, not Homer Simpson, the Greek bloke, they were recited as poems. So people remembered reciting them before they were actually written down hundreds of years later. These books, these works of fiction, these epics really, in the actual sense of the word, not like epic games or whatever. These epics are so good, people have bothered to keep them alive for thousands of years. What do you mean people aren't scrambling to read them? I was listening to the Iliad on Audible just this morning as I was doing my makeup. Genuinely a little incensed at that. I don't know who she thinks she is. They've been around for thousands of years for a reason, Gabbie. People aren't going to be plucking out adultolescence from the ruins of what used to be America in 10,000 years' time, being like, oh, this is bloody brilliant. This is a sign of the times. No! YouTubers, man.
I assume, if it's anything like when I was in school, most students aren't jumping for joy when they're assigned Shakespeare.
People don't enjoy Shakespeare? No, that's only why there's been countless film adaptations and countless plays of Shakespeare's work all these hundreds of years later. People just aren't jumping for joy at Shakespeare. What?
Poetry, like YouTube and music and everything else, evolves. You have to evolve with it. That's why Vine was so popular, because it was short, easily digestible, 6 seconds at a time.
I think Gabbie is trying to tell us that Vine is the Odyssey of our generation.
The book is self-aware. There's a poem that I've seen shared around called Link. The title of the poem is Link, the poem is in bio. So when you read the title and the poem together, it is Link in bio.
You didn't have to explain to me that the title and the poem was Link in bio.
People improve, and yes, I would say that Dandelion is a massive step up, and my editors and publishers agree. I'm very proud of Dandelion in the topics covered, in the writing, and especially in the illustration. I'm so proud of my artwork. I'm so blown away by myself and my growth, and I'm so excited to share that with you.
She just never stops patting herself on the back, does she? It's never ending. I thought I was egotistical. Damn.
I didn't watch a video about my book, and it's not because I can't take constructive criticism. I beg for it.
How are you gonna do a whole video about the criticisms of your book and then admit, oh, but I didn't watch any criticisms of my book though? How are you gonna say that with a straight face, Gabbie? What's the point? You might as well have just not done this video. You might as well have just cut it off at 10 minutes after all the promo for your new poetry book was done. What's the point? Either address criticism or just ignore it and don't care.
I send each poem, each drawing, each demo of each song to 10 to 15 people because I'm so f***ing insecure about my work. And I ask, how can this be better?
I don't know, for someone who's insecure about her work, she doesn't really act like it, does she? Do I need to read through all the backpacking to see the insecurity inside? Oh my god, this is just like one of Gabbie Hanna's poems.
I am constantly asking my colleagues and my peers, how can I be better? And I take that advice very, very to heart.
So you take criticism from people who have a bias in your favour. Got it.
But in what world would it make sense for me to click a video that says Gabbie Hanna is terrible? Or
do you reckon that was my one? Gabbie Hanna's terrible poetry. Do you reckon that was my one? She's obviously referencing like Rachel Oates as well though.
Or Gabbie Hanna can't write, or Gabbie Hanna's poetry is bad, whatever it is.
She's referencing Rachel Oates, but the thing is if you did bother to watch Rachel's video, she backs up the title and shows comparisons of, like, her video was actually, from a literary point of view, really, really good. I would totally get not wanting to take criticism from my videos, because my videos are just generally, how entitled is this person? let's make a bit of fun of them, right? So I understand that. I'm just a piss taker. But Rachel's video was really, really good. It was a good analysis. analysis over what constitutes as objectively good writing versus objectively maybe bad writing. So, you know, you're doing yourself a bit of disservice by not watching that video, Gabbie. You don't have to watch mine. Maybe just don't watch mine. But Rachel's criticism was very good. And the thing is Gabbie Hanna is also a YouTuber, so she understands how titling videos work. You do want to grab attention from people and draw them in with the title and the thumbnails of your videos, otherwise you're not going to get any fucking views. But the difference between proper clickbait, Tana Mojo used to do some proper clickbait back in the day. I think she had a video that was like, oh, I caught my boyfriend cheating on me in a foursome, and you watch the video and it's like, at the end, this happened to me in a dream. That is clickbait, because it's kind of tricking you into watching the video. But Rachel's video really lived up to the title that she put forward. So it was attention grabbing, but it wasn't even really clickbaity. I don't know where I was going with that. You're a YouTuber too. You understand how this game we all play works.
Because at some point, I feel like people really started hiding behind the term constructive criticism while removing the constructive part and leaving only criticism. But constructive criticism doesn't belittle people, it doesn't name call people, it doesn't say that your work is bad or terrible. Or
you can still say that someone's work is bad or terrible. That still constitutes as constructive criticism. If you watch Rachel's video, it is constructive criticism. Like, you are just using this as a cop-out. Oh, it's not constructive criticism, it's just hate. I hate it when YouTubers do this, because YouTubers like this do see any form of criticism that comes outside their, you know, inner circle of friends as hate. Zola and Alfie Days are big on doing this. Any criticism they get, it's just hate. It doesn't really matter. It's just a bit of a cop-out, really. Someone like Rachel, who doesn't know you, is going to be a bit less biased than one of your best mates, who you ask, hey, what do you think of this poem? Best mate's probably going to be like, yeah, it's all right. You might be lucky and have some friends who will have a non-biased approach to your work when you show it to them. But a lot of your friends are going to be biased in your favour because they're your mates. From what I gather about Gabbie, it would probably be easier to just be like, if you were her mate, it would be easier to be like, yeah, it's good. Leave me alone. Please stop sending me this stuff, like, you know, 20 times in the last hour. You know what I mean?
And there might have been really sound advice in those videos, but I don't know that. Because I'm not going to click onto a video that's saying that I'm bad or not talented, because to me, that says that the intention of the video was more for entertainment and less for trying to help me grow as an artist, so.
Well, Gabbie, have you tried interpreting the title of the videos in a different way? Why don't you try reading between the lines of these titles of these videos?
The minute you start insulting somebody is the minute they stop listening. And I think that's just sort of how communication has gotten in general on YouTube. And I honestly don't fault or blame anybody. Like, I'm not mad at people who made the videos, because I understand, again, that I'm a public figure, but also that's what pays the bills. My name is being very heavily searched, and YouTubers understand how SEO works and how the search optimization works.
Yes, some people, like Rachel, only did these videos because the money, not because she actually gives a shit about poetry and stuff. I'm biased here because I do know Rachel in real life, and she's a lovely girl, and she's very intelligent and really likes poetry. So she didn't do those videos just because they paid the bills. She had no idea that those videos were going to explode in the way they did. But she did those videos because she really enjoyed poetry, so she wanted to constructively critique your work. I did mine because I thought it would be funny.
The only thing that obviously really hurt about all of this is I just miss the old YouTube community a lot. And I remember a time on YouTube when I used to watch that creators used to support each other and celebrate each other's successes and projects. And I thought, wow, that seems like a really great community to be a part of, and I wish I could be a part of that. And it does feel like the community has shifted in a direction where it's more cool and popular to criticize each other's work instead of bring each other up and cheer each other on.
Oh my god, we don't need to be nice about your poetry just because we all use the same platform. On YouTube, there's the overarching YouTube community, but then there's all these like sub-genres of communities, and they're not all gonna get along with each other, and that's fine. That's just life. Are you kidding me right now, Gabbie? Are you kidding? What does that even mean? What, just because like, I do YouTube, I should promote your new book that's coming out, essentially, is what she's kind of saying. You still have a supportive fan base, but maybe people are just getting kind of tired of your shit because you're constantly in drama. You admitted that adult lessons was rushed in many places. And moreover, it's not as if you did this for free. People are paying money to buy your books and your work. Maybe some people bought the book and were disappointed with what they found inside.
People would much rather see others fail than succeed.
I agree to some degree that we have obviously criticism has been around forever. We've always, humans always criticize one another. It's a normal part of being human, probably. But I do agree that it goes too far, and sometimes it is nitpicking for the sake of nitpicking. For example, anytime James Charles breathes these days, let's all cancel him. So I do agree to an extent with that. But I get the feeling from listening to her that she feels she's being unfairly victimized and she doesn't deserve any criticism. I don't know, it's just... I agree with some of her points to an extent, but I feel that this whole video is very insincere. Considering it's 26 minutes long, you didn't watch any of the critique videos. Why bother doing this video then? Just ignore the criticism. Just make a 10-minute long video being like, hey, I've got a new poetry book coming out. Round 2, guys. You know what I mean? Like, what a pointless video. And in turn, this video is pointless. We're basically done with that video, so now is a good time to end it. That is all for this video. My thoughts... Well, I've said all my thoughts. My thoughts were, it was a video. Maybe you can read between the lines of what I've been saying. That's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, do remember to like, comment, subscribe. I make new videos whenever I feel like. Follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!